Hello everyone. In today's class for ETABS modeling, I'll be considering the parameters as shown here. Here I'll be considering 3 by 3 by in x direction by 3 by in y direction, and columns are of M30 grade concrete, and beams are of beams and slabs are of M25 grade, and reinforcement FE500 for main steel and FE415 for ties and stirrups. Column size I'll be considering 200 by 600, and beam 200 by 450, and slab 150 thick. And here number of stories I'll be considering G ground plus 5 stories. And coming to the loading, floor finish will be 2 kN per meter square, and live load 3 kN per meter square. And seismic for seismic loading I'll be considering zone 2 and soil type as hard, and response reduction factor 3. And for coming to the wind loading, basic wind speed is 33 meter per second. So coming to the plan dimensions, I'll be considering 3 bays in x direction. As I said earlier, the spacing is 4 meter first bay, and 5 meter second bay, and 6 meter third bay. And in y direction, all the bays are equally spaced at 4 meters. Okay, to start with the modeling, go to ETABS. So when you click on ETABS icon, this is how the ETABS window looks. If you see, except file, all other icons are in locked state. So if you open new model, or if you want to create a new model, or if you open existing model, then all these tabs will activate. So since we are creating new model, I'll go with file, new model. So yeah, once you click on new model initialization window will open. So in this you can see these 3 options. The first option is use saved user default settings. Whatever you have saved, whatever as from the software default settings has been created, that will be considered. In the second case, if you have any earlier model and the same parameters you need to consider for the current model, then you can click on this second option and give OK. Then a new window will open, where you need to select that previous model which you have to from which the properties needs to be imported. So I'll just give cancel as of now. So yeah, this I'll just cancel. Go to file, new model. So here I'll go with the third option, use built-in settings. Here I'll be considering metric, that is where the loads will be in terms of kilonewton, and dimensions will be in terms of meter. And coming to section, steel section database, I'll be considering Indian, and steel design code IS 800, and concrete design code as IS 456 2000, and give OK. Once we click OK, then new window will open, where it will ask for new model quick templates, where we need to give the x and y grid dimensions and number of stories. All of the parameters we need to mention. Coming to our plan, so here there are 3 bays in x direction and 3 bays in y direction. So number of grid lines we require in x direction is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Similarly in y direction is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 4 grid lines in x direction and 4 grid lines in y direction. But in our case the grid spacings are not uniform, so we need to custom grid spacing. Just For that, go to this custom grid spacing, edit grid data. Here, so you can see this A, B, C, D and 1, 2, 3, 4 X as X grid data and Y grid data. The same thing you can see in this preview window as well. So either you can give the dimensions as coordinates or as spacing. Coming to coordinates, so our spacings are 4 meter, 5 meter and 6 meter. So first grid will be as this. If you are giving in terms of coordinates, bottom left corner will be considered as origin. So first grid will be at a distance of 0, second will be at a distance of 4, third will be at 5 meter, third will be at a distance of 4 plus 5 9 meter, and fourth will be at a distance of 9 plus 6 14 meter. Similarly, we need to provide for Y grid. So A will be at a distance of 0, B will be at a distance of 4, C will be at a distance of 4 plus 5 equals 9, and D will be at a distance of 9 plus 6 15. Similarly in Y direction, so once, if you notice here, once you give the dimensions in this preview window, automatically the spacings gets updated. Coming to Y direction, first will be at 0, second will be at a distance of 4, third will be at a distance of 8, and fourth will be at a distance of 12 meters. Click OK. So XY grid we have updated. Coming to story data, here we have a number of we need to give number of stories. In this case, I am considering G plus 5, so it will be ground plus 5, so 6 stories plus one more level I will be considering for plinth level, so total 7 stories. And then typical story height I will be considering 3 meter, and bottom story height, that is foundation to plinth, I will be considering it as 1.5 meters. So here also you can go with custom, so we have already given this parameter. So go to custom story data and edit story data. Here you can see story 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Here you can also rename it as plinth, ground, first floor, second, third floor, fourth floor, and fifth floor or terrace. I'll call it as terrace. So give OK. OK. So once you give all these parameters, so the grids will populate. So by default you can see 2 windows. This is Model Explorer. So what step-by-step procedure you will be following, either you can keep it or close it. And this first window is for plan and second window is for 3D view. You can keep either single window or n number of windows you can add. So as of now I'll just retain as it is, and whereas these things I'll just Model Explorer I'll just close as of now. So first and foremost thing we need to define is materials and then section properties, then we can create geometry. So in any software there are 2 stages, that is, one is pre-processing, the other one is post-processing. Pre-processing is the stage where we define material properties, section properties, and create geometry and apply loadings and do the analysis. So up to analysis it is pre-processing stage. Then we have post-processing stage where we'll be checking the deflections and bending moment, shear force, and designing the members. Those comes after the analysis, that is post-processing stage. So if you see this menu bar also, so file, edit, view, except these 3 you can see define, draw, select, assign, analyze. So left to analyze is pre-processing, what will be pre-processing stage will be using these menu bars, whereas right to analyze like display and design will be using for post-processing stage. So as I said earlier, first we need to define material properties. In our case, so material properties are grade of concrete and grade of steel. These two forms material properties, whereas column, beam and slab dimensions forms section properties, and G plus 5 is a geometry. So first I'll define material property. For that, go to define. Here you can find material properties, click on material properties. So this is predefined one, so I'll not be using this. We can delete it. So as of now I'll just retain as it is, later we can delete. Then go to add new material. So in the region, just click on this drop down, you can see India, select India, material type concrete, standard is Indian, and grade is M30. So this M30 is for columns. So if you click on this new property data, material property data, you can see. So you can see what is the density and what is modulus of elasticity. If you want to give any nonlinear data, that one also you can provide. There is an option for nonlinear material data. Click on this. So here you have shows test strain plots. So here you can manually give the input. For that, this is manual one. If you want manually give, just click on this user define. You can provide all stress strain values. So as of now I'll just retain as it is. Give OK. Similarly, you can add M25, that is for beams and slabs. So same thing, you can check the modulus of elasticity, weight remains same only. Then I need to define reinforcement. For that, click on add new material. So in the material type, so if you see, there are steel, concrete, aluminum, cold form, rebar, tendon, masonry, other, etc. So here for reinforcement we should select always rebar. So steel is for only steel sections, where steel sections like steel structure, if you are analyzing and designing, then we'll be using steel. So where I sections, channel sections, those parameters we need to define. So here I'll select rebar, and coming to the grade, HYSD 500 for main steel. Same thing. So here concrete steel rebar density and modulus of elasticity. Click OK. Similarly, add new material Fe415. Click OK. OK, and here also OK. So I have defined material properties and section material properties are defined. Now the next step is section properties. For that, go to define section property, frame sections. So these are all predefined one. I will not be using any of these sections. Add new property. Here concrete rectangular,